Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Prop Wiz. I'm your host, Wiz. Today, we'll be doing a box opening and a review of the amazing Spider-Man 1/6 scale figure by Hot Toys. Now, this is a re-release of the original. I missed it on the first go-round, even though I was able to get the amazing Spider-Man from the first movie. In fact, this is actually one of the first figures. I say probably about maybe the fourth or fifth figure I ever got, man. So this is one of the bad boys that was in the forefront of me collecting these things. Really wanted this guy, as at the time, this was the most accurate Spider-Man costume on film anyway. And I originally had the original pre-order. I ended up canceling the pre-order because it was just too much money at the time, man. Still a struggling artist, man. Had kids, just wasn't on the list of priorities, man. I had to do a responsible thing and cancel that order. At the same time, when I canceled it, I really didn't understand how these things could sell out. So I had canceled it thinking, I'll probably get it, 2 or 3 months down the road, not knowing that bad boy had already sold out. In fact, when I canceled it, it disappeared. It said it was already sold out. So I got a list of figures that's on that, figures that got away, man. But this was probably number one, man. So when this jumped back up, on Sideshow is where I got this one, man. I jumped at it immediately. And I'm real glad I did, man, because on top of being able to get my hands on it, it really didn't take long, man. I think it was less than half a year from the time that I pre-ordered and received it, man. Some of these figures you pre-order, I don't get them for a year or more at times, man. So the turnaround time or the time it took for me to get it in hand right now was fairly quick. I also got Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1/6 scale on pre-order as well. And of course, I just got that out of nostalgia fact. First Spider-Man movie, man. This is really the one that I really wanted. Anyway, we about to dive in, man. I got this bad boy here just as a comparison once we open this. Starting with the box, man, we got a cool dynamic pose. I'm not sure if that's a graphic of the actual figure. Nah, it kind of looks digital, but this is very reminiscent of the movie. I feel like the design, the lighting, even the pose itself, feel like it came right out of that movie or the advertisement for that movie. Now, with this being a re-release, I'm not sure if the box art is the same. I might look that up just to see. But regardless, man, cool little box. Not sure if I'll be posing the box with the figure. The box is good enough to pose it, but the only thing is I am going to have it in the same display as the original Spider-Man, the amazing Spider-Man figure. So I don't know if I have room for both boxes and both figures, but we'll see. The writing is simple. They have the amazing Spider-Man 2 text logo. We got the amazing Spider-Man letting us know what figure it is. It's the MM5658 1/6 scale collectible figure, again by Hot Toys. This is part of their movie masterpiece collection. I feel like there's a number of figures that I guess come from the movie masterpiece collection. I think some of the Batman figures came from that as well. Real dope. The side is simple. We just got the logo. Again, got the text logo as well. Love the little red designs. I got the little texture design that you see on his costume. And we got some of the spider webs. Very reminiscent of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. In fact, one of the reasons why I love this costume so much, because to me, this was the live action Todd McFarlane costume. You got the big white eyes, the way the spider webs are on the suits, and most importantly, what they call the spaghetti webs, which is, of course, the style that Todd McFarlane created with his spider webs. Like, he just had those spider webs that had spider webs wrapping around spider webs. They call it the spaghetti style. So I don't know if I really heard anybody mention that, but that was the reason why The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was one of my favorite movies. Now, I'm not delusional. I understand why people didn't like the movie. I could see problems with the movie with all the villains, but man, it was just a lot of cool things about this movie, including the costume and the Gwen Stacy scene at the end, man. The death scene was, dude, it was just dope to me, man. Like, that alone made the movie dope to me, man. And I definitely wish, again, having to admit that it probably wasn't the best superhero movie in the world, but I could really see the setup and was really hopeful that the next movie was going to be, up to par to everybody's standard. But anyway, enough about the movie, man. Let's dive into the box. Let's open this bad boy up. We do got a slip case that comes right on off. So we get to get a good look. There's a window. So we get to get a good look of the Spider-Man in there. Ooh, the back is kind of dope. We got Spider-Man in a cool Spider-Man pose. We got, with great power comes great responsibility. So cool little design. That looked like that came right out of the movie, a shot from the movie. Anyways, the rest of the box is plain, so we can go ahead and dive into this bad boy. Usually a lot of these videos, you guys see me rip through these boxes. You can tell when I really like a box when I plan on keeping it. Okay, they got a little container for just the hands. It looks like we got 11 hands and two little web shooter looking things. Look like probably what I'm guessing all these Spider-Man. Yep, I already see. He comes with these little webs. It feels like every single Spider-Man comes with these fake webs that shoot out. So it looks like they got pieces on here that connects to that to make it look like it's starting from the wrist. And it looked like we got some cool little hands in there. I know one thing that the original actually came with a little coat, scarf, and a hat from that scene when he was sick. Real dope, man. Not sure if I don't think this guy comes with that accessory. So that might be something that's unique to that original release. Now, I do know one thing that's cool with this. I do think they updated the head sculpt. So I heard that the head sculpt with this bad boy is real good. Figure is dope, y'all. All right, we'll put that bad boy to the side so we can get the stand out first so we can have a place to put him. When I heard that they was re-releasing this, I really didn't know what direction they were going to go in because, of course, it seems like they re-released this because of the popularity of the No Way Home movie where we had both Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man standing next to the Tom Holland Spider-Man. So when I saw that they were re-releasing this, I actually thought it was going to be a No Way Home thing, but this actually says The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We already saw that on the box, and it's consistent with the stand as well. Of course, it's cool little stand. Just got the logo on there. Got some gradient going on. Decent, man. You know, it doesn't have to be too complex. It does have one of those dynamic pose stands. I'm real simple with my posing, man. I kind of like the studio poses. I really don't get into the dynamic poses. That may change when I have more room, because a lot of it's just based off room. You know what I'm saying? I only got so much room in the detoxes, especially with something like this where these figures are going to be standing next to each other. It's just a lot easier to have them standing than to have them in some kind of crazy pose. So I'm not against it. Love seeing other people poses. It's just for me right now in this time of my life, we just keep it simple. With that being said, I respect the fact that Hot Toys do give me the dynamic pose stand, because with this stand, of course, you can pose it simple or you can go crazy with it. Okay, got a place for him to stand. Hey, let's take a look at the head sculpt first, because I'm not going to be using the head sculpt with this guy, which might be a shame. This is another figure. I wish I can afford two of them. And this one is just out of the price range. Like, this one is not cheap. This Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man, was not cheap. Wasn't super expensive, but I think it was maybe $250 and above, man. I'll take a look at it in a second. But you got to imagine the original Amazing Spider-Man, I think might have been $189. Marvel figures back at that time used to be a lot cheaper than $200. I don't know if that was before Disney acquired them or not, if Disney was what raised the price of Marvel. Of course, actually Spider-Man is Sony, but even its association with Disney now with the Tom Holland might have jacked those prices up. Because Captain America, was all kinds of figures, man. I got under 180 at the time. DC figures, I had the 1989 Batman and I had the 77 Superman, Christopher Reeve Superman. Both of those were well over $200, even, 10 years ago when I got them. But Marvel, I say the last 2-3 years, man, Marvel's been catching up. Their figures has been up there, especially if you're dealing with like a die-cast Iron Man figure, $400 or better. Anyways, the head sculpt, man, is perfect. I can't really tell you whether it looks older, because, it was visibly a little bit older in No Way Home, man. I think they did a good job. He's a young-looking cat, right? He ain't old-looking, but you can tell there was some changes to him, which was fine, because we don't know how many years had passed between the last time we seen him and his appearance in No Way Home. Anyway, with that being said, man, this head sculpt looks like Andrew Garfield, man. Oh, dude, it's awesome. You got the little glare in the eyes, man. The hair looks dope. This looks like him. Again, it's a shame, man. If I could afford to get another one or another one falls in the sky, I would definitely have to pose him with the head sculpt. The only reason I'm not, and I'm still kind of thinking about it, the only reason I'm not is because I love the eyes on this thing. Again, the Todd McFarlane aspect or look of this figure is one of the reasons why I love this figure. So there's no way in the world I'm going to pose him without the Spider-Man mask. But we'll see. I keep the boxes in storage not too far from the figure, so it might be just one of those things. We might just switch it up every other year or something like that. He does come with a mask. If you do decide to pose it with the head sculpt, I guess you can have him holding the mask. I do have that with some of my Tom Holland figures, at least one of my Tom Holland figures downstairs. And that's always cool and fun, man. So a lot of these accessories, man, seem like they're they're pretty standard with every single Spider-Man figure. I feel like a lot of this stuff, especially these webs, come with all the Spider-Man figures. Now I'm not using these, so I won't be taking them out, or I guess I'll take one out just so you guys can see what it looks like. But yeah, I won't be posing them using these, so probably won't be taking them out. But it is cool, man. You got a lot of webbing, a lot of different webs in there. So if you are into that kind of thing, man, you're gonna be in heaven with this figure. Okay, it looks like that's all that comes in the box, man. So we really didn't come with a lot, man. Just a bunch of hands and some spider webs, but I guess there's not a lot to Spider-Man. So, all right, cool. So let's take a closer look at the figure itself. All right, cool. I got the hands to the side. I'm probably not going to switch out the hands today, only because I'm not sure how I'm going to pose him, so I don't know what hand I'm going to put on him. We'll see, man. He got some cool hands, man. Okay, right from the jump, I'm noticing something that I don't know is consistent with, maybe a little bit. I was about to say the mask is cloth. Some of these figures, sometimes I know I have a molded head sculpt, so the mask won't be made out of real, whatever it is superhero costumes are made out of at this size. But that's not the case with him. The material is consistent all the way through, especially the red parts. And so with that being said, there's no crease under the neck. It seems like the crease is right here where the shoulder meets the neckline, and really, really not noticeable. You got the spider webs that's actually hiding that, man. So, dude, this is actually pretty good design. I would love to know if it's consistent, man. If one of you guys got the earlier version of this, the one that was released a few years back, man, let me know if that's something that's the same. That's real cool. The detail in the suit is immaculate. It's got all the little oval little shapes, all that little thing that's giving it texture. In the blue, I could see a little bit on the red. It actually looked like a screen print style on the red. Like I can see it almost look like there's something under the jumpsuit that's shining through, because I can see it in the head too. It doesn't look like it's painted. So even the fact that I can't tell what it is pretty cool, right? I mean, you can see the design clearly. It has that magic that you get from seeing it in the movie. You really don't know what it is. You can see that it's textured. Of course, on the legs, on the blue parts, it's clear as day. You can see the little oval shapes. He's got all the little seams. Of course, they got real life seams going in between the legs, a little bit under the arms. Those, of course, have to exist, probably how they put this suit together. And then you got the actual little fine, thin lines, seam lines that you see in the actual costume in the movie. Again, one of those things that just give it detail, something you see in a lot of movies nowadays. The whole textured look, the costumes have really been booming, I say, in the last 10 years maybe. You got two things. You got the texture that they add to the costumes, and I think Spider-Man was one of those first movies that kind of did that. Man of Steel, probably, where, you had the newer costume had all these little itty bitty designs. So from far away, it looks like it's all just one suit, plain original Superman. Then you get up on it and you see all these little details. Spider-Man was one of those first suits, along with Man of Steel, that I remember kind of really, really diving into that. The other look, of course, is the layered look, like the Captain America suit from Civil War, or even the first Avengers Captain America movie, where there's just these layers, this tactical suit looking thing. I think it's either those two looks that you get from movies nowadays. Again, the real cool thing about this suit, as I'm looking at it now, is that it's very, very comic book accurate. I don't know if other people agree with me with that. I guess you can always nitpick at things, but even compared to the Tom Holland, like the Tom Holland suit it looks like Spider-Man. You got the classic small eyes, a version of Spider-Man. Again, this one is almost specific to Todd McFarlane, like a specific time period where Spider-Man definitely looked like this. Speaking about McFarlane and the eyes on this bad boy, the detail is immaculate. Again, you got all the little black dots in the lens, so it's not just one color. You just got this textured look even in the lens. The only thing I think they didn't do, or I can't tell, it feels like in the movies, like you can slightly see his eyes through the lenses. Man, it's weird. It might just be a movie magic kind of thing, man, because you can kind of see something. It looks like there's somebody in there when you look deep into his eyes. Look deep into his eyes. The webs are all raised. I'm scared to almost touch it, man. It almost feel like I don't want to mess that up. But dude, they did a real good job with this figure, man. Let's stand him up next to the original figure. Now, the Amazing Spider-Man base is smaller, so he's going to be a little bit shorter. Let me see if we stand them up next to each other. So, in all honesty, the original Spider-Man figure is shorter, but everything else looks similar. The body type, this looks like, his lanky design. I can definitely see somewhat of an improvement in the actual body here than this guy, and it might just be that he's too old too. Like, this costume has some wrinkles, has some spots here and there that look kind of awkward, but you got to think he's been sitting in this same pose sitting on my shelf for, again, almost 10 years. Okay, I'm on here trying to see when this Amazing Spider-Man was originally released. So Sideshow has him listed as $204, this original one. Again, I don't remember spending that much for him. We're looking at 2012 that this might have been released. A lot of the reviews on here was from 2014. Let me see how far I go back. Yeah, 2014. So yeah, so close to 10 years ago that this bad boy was released. Okay, and the price of the new one was $290. On one place it says it's still in stock, but when I went on Sideshow, it does say that there's a wait list open for this guy. So it looked like he sold out. So sucks for me. Won't be getting another one. But good news is I don't have to cough up $290 out of thin air. But everything else looks dope, man. The flexibility, he is very, very flexible. So you can really get down with the posing on this figure. It feels like there's some kind of ball joint thing, so it does snap into place as you move him. So you got the feeling that once you put him into a pose that he's there. He's gonna stay there. The head is a little tough, maybe because of the material, but not too bad. Not too shabby at all. Logo on the back, logo on the front looks good. It's got like a rubbery feel to it. I can't tell if it's glued or not. Man, it's just an awesome figure, dude. I can't even break it down to that level. There might be a little seam right here on the side down the back. That's a little messy when you're looking at it, but really isn't distracting when you're looking at him correct. Oh man, he's got even joints in his shoulders, so you can kind of toss his shoulders back a little bit. Man, dope figure, y'all. He actually stands up pretty well by himself. I probably won't have the little clip. It does come with the clip where you can put it around his waist. I probably won't have that. I probably just have him leaning on this just a little bit, or just behind him, just a tad bit. Yep, like that. Got the web shooters under the wrist. Dude, very, very accurate, man. And I expected that, man. Hot Toys really do be coming through, I think, on most of their figures, man. I rarely have a Hot Toys figure that I hate or I dislike. And anytime they re-release something, man, it's usually top notch, yo. Every now and then they'll just release something as is, which is cool. Like, I think I got a Marty McFly that they re-released, and I don't think there was any changes to that, or probably likewise it is probably some accessories that were taken away, if anything. But this guy right here actually looks like a new body type and everything. It looked like they upgraded this guy just a little bit. But again, I don't know. Never owned the other one. If you own one, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. But anyway, super dope figure, man. 10 out of 10 figure. Easily, these guys are going to be posed next to each other. Let me know what you guys think, man. Leave me some comments. Is this something you already got your hands on? Again, I already asked you if you got your hands on the old one, but even if you got this one, man, let me know what you think. Or, hey, maybe this ain't something you're interested in, right? The movie didn't do the best. It wasn't the top selling comic book movie. Maybe you're not into this at all. Let me know that too, man. I don't mind hearing the bad stuff too. But anyway, if you like this video, man, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. As always, I love you guys to death, and I'll check you out next time. All right? Peace.
At the crossroads again, where the roads begin to grow again. The grosses that I go against, the girls that's dating older men. The mental manipulation that's taking over them. Knowing if these young girls get focused, it'll be over then. Exposing their frozen thoughts, the coldest thoughts they holding in. I see through these evil people, but still it be sobering. For a moment when we heal the sickness before we go again. Holding in the thoughts of hopelessness, but still we hoping this sickness that exists in this world that we live in. They doing things that leave scars, so it's harder forgiving them. And I ain't God, so I have to accept these sinners when they begging him for forgiveness before the end of them. Days that they living in, we face imminent danger each day. We in it, the planet in space spinning later. The fader dial is turned down, so there's no sound. Before now, it was loud, you couldn't hear the 4 pounds. Shooting 4 rounds in a dog pound. Your kids convinced the pronouns, the primary fight. I fight for souls. Wow. I ain't trying to discount, they fight now, but